Hi, Heblahs. This is part 2 of Trauma Isn't an Excuse, Turning Pain into a Healing Guide. So, I'm not gonna lie, this episode has been really, really difficult for me to come to record. I wrote it out probably the next day after I posted the original one, and just started journaling, and I was like, oh, okay, I should turn this into a part 2. But it's been really difficult for me, and I've been putting off recording it. The other day, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to post it. And I went to go post it, and I realized I hadn't recorded it. Um, so, this is just your sign that it's okay to take space when you need it, and you should honor yourself when you need to take that space or take that time. So, I think I'm ready. This is difficult to talk about, and I didn't realize how much emotion it brought up. Still, I thought I was more healed from the situation, but yeah, writing it out made me realize I'm not. So, let's just get into it. So I had a dream the other night that inspired part 2 of this episode. I wanted to share a traumatic event that happened to me a couple of years ago. My son, my sister, and I were on our way to go meet my family for a birthday breakfast. You may or may not know, but I am a Muslim, Palestinian American. I guess that's the best way to describe me. I was born here, but my family's from Palestine. Um, first generation born here on my mom's side, second on my dad's side. So throughout my life, I not only had a hard time with my identity as both an American and as a Palestinian. As you can imagine, but it was just a lot of confusion, identity issues, trying to feel a part of some sort of community, and kind of creating, I don't know, trying to see where I need to fit in. So, I mean, I feel like any immigrant parents or grandparents, obviously, they come here for a better life, for their families, opportunity, etc. But I feel like the generation born here loses their roots, their language, their culture, because we're trying to fit in. So I think that's where the identity crisis comes in. I mean, I not only did I struggle with my identity, but as like a child, like in middle school and in high school, just kind of throughout my life, I always had to defend the country of Palestine. Almost every time I was asked, which was a lot, where my family's from, and I answered Palestine, people always replied with Pakistan. Like, no, two totally different words, two totally different countries. But people just are not familiar with, the world. But when October 7th happened and our social medias were flooded with the truth of the ongoing genocide and the occupation of Palestine, I had so many mixed emotions. I felt guilty that my family lived here and that other families still had to deal with the violence. Um, I couldn't relate to any of my people. I was born here, you know, culturally, linguistically, financially, but I still consider myself Palestinian, so I don't know, does that make me a fraud? I also felt like a sense of relief as well. People actually started to see the truth with their own eyes through social media. Everything that we've been saying, my people have been saying for years and years, has finally been validated. I felt gratitude for my situation, living in the US and having the things that I have, a home, a car, food, just everything. Even though I struggle, I don't understand what it is to struggle. Like, our struggles here are nothing compared to other people's struggles, and sometimes we forget that, and we forget to show that gratitude, you know. So I got really sad and depressed, you know, seeing people's body parts and grocery bags, babies' heads and legs being blown off, just seeing all of this on social media, like through the lens of the people dying, countless dead bodies, body bags. So it all kind of sent me into like a really heavy depression. I was having panic attacks pretty frequently. Um, so, I mean, I tried to do what I could here, you know, attend protests, raise awareness via social media, repost, attend events that, you know, charity events. Um, it was just kind of a roller coaster of emotions, feeling hopeful, motivated to do something, anything I possibly can. Um, but also on the other end, just feeling absolutely helpless, you know, depression, frustration with friends and family that seem to ignore everything, you know. So it got exhausting, and I had to delete social media just for my mental health. Just seeing everything on social media, just feeling betrayed by, you know, friends or family members when I would post things. That's, I don't know, that's frustrating. It breaks your heart. Um but yeah, I mean, I've deleted my social media many times for that reason. You know, the lack of humanity, accountability, empathy, and just like the delusion of people I considered friends just really broke me. I mean, that's probably where this all started, honestly, like where Happy Heblah was born in the darkest of times, like trying to shed some light into this world, trying to, you know, make a difference. Every time depression happens, I feel like it's an opportunity to kind of find yourself and, you know, get more spiritual and dig down deep and kind of figure out like why you're here. And I feel like I'm here to help people. I'm here to heal people. Um, and, you know, I do that being a happy Heblah, I guess. So let's get back to like this specific traumatic event that my dream reminded me of. So, while all this was going on, I had some Arabic lettering on the back of my car that said, "All praises due to God," or in Arabic, it's Alhamdulillah. I mean, I also had in English lettering, Palestine will be free. So, I mean, the chant is from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So I just had kind of the end of the chant. So, anyways, we're on our way to birthday breakfast for my mom. And we're turning into kind of like the shopping center that the restaurant is in. It's like a really big shopping center. There's a grocery store in there. There's a ton of stores to the right. There's the restaurant. There's a ton of things in that shopping center. So we're at the red light, and I can't remember, which also happens a lot, um, with trauma and just traumatic events, and I don't know, just my memory in general. But I can't remember if this man was honking or just like kind of waving his arms at me or something, but I just noticed in my rear view mirror. So I was confused because I'm like, I'm at a red light, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? So the arrow finally turns green, and this guy just like pulls around my car and kind of like creates a double turn and kind of cuts us off, and then just like pulled all crazy and parked in the middle of one of the parking lots and got out of his car and started kind of walking towards the vehicle like super angry. It was very odd. So my sister rolled down her window, which I don't know why, but he like starts screaming at us. And he's like, "Is there a man in that car? Is there a man in that car?" And we're like, no. We're just like so confused. So then he was like mumbling stuff and he just walks off. We're like, what the heck? So it was very aggressive, very erratic. So we're like, okay, well, that was weird. So we drove and parked on the other end of the shopping center, which was, yeah, like that shopping center is huge. So as I'm parking, my sister's like, he's coming over here, he's coming over here. And I would say from where he parked to where we were is probably like a quarter of a mile at least, I think. Um, so he's like charging from the other side of the parking lot towards us. And I'm like, what is going on? What is wrong with this man? So when he starts to come closer, I kind of see like he has his phone out. Um, I get out of my car and start walking towards him. He still has his phone out and he's like not looking at me. He's like trying to go around me. I'm like, hello, is there a problem? He's ignoring me. It was really, really weird. So obviously like the kids are still in the car, they're behind me, whatever. So I'm stepping towards him and I'm like, I don't know how any of this happened, but I'm like, what's going on? Is there a problem? Is there a problem? I just remember like that I realized kind of like we were in danger. I don't know. I don't know, but he was charging towards us and everything kind of got blurry, but I remember like looking down at my keys and I was like, oh, pepper spray. I have pepper spray. So I unlocked it and I like looked at him and I was like, you need to get back. I will pepper spray you. He continued to like charge towards us. I repeated it again. I'm not sure, like 2 or 3 times. And I was like, I'm going to pepper spray you. He still did not, he was still trying to get around me. And I was like, okay, this is like, nope, not happening. So all my adrenaline in that moment, everything was a blur. And I just started pepper spraying him. And I unleashed probably that whole thing of pepper spray. And I had never ever used pepper spray before. I didn't even know how it, like, honestly, I never thought I would have to use it, having it. It was just kind of more of like a peace of mind, just having on my keys. But so, yeah, so I kind of did it. And then I was just like, okay, like what's going on? A woman that saw that was happening, like a woman with her husband, she like ran up to me. She's like, are you okay? I saw the whole thing. Are you okay? I was like, still kind of in shock. My adrenaline's pumping. I was like, yeah, I think so. She was like, you were spraying him. You're like, stay away from my children. Which is funny because I don't know. My sister's like my child, even though I'm like 9 years older than her. But yeah, she's like my child. And I don't know, just mama bear instinct kicked in and I just pepper sprayed the heck out of him. So yeah, that was like the whole thing. It was terrifying. And yeah, even reliving it and telling the story, spikes my anxiety. Just before I even recorded this, I was just so anxious. I had to just kind of sit here and, take some deep breaths and calm my nervous system. But after all of this happened, my anxiety was like debilitating. I couldn't go to the grocery store alone. I remember going to Safeway one time. I was like looking at apples or something, and like a man started walking towards me, obviously to like look at the apples or whatever I was looking at. But I just remember like freezing. And when he grabbed like what he needed to grab, which was like near me, I ran out of the store, shaking and just my anxiety spiking. As soon as I got in the car, I started bawling. I couldn't do it. I called my sisters. I was like, I don't know. I can't even go shopping at the grocery store. But eventually it got easier. The anxiety eased, I mean, still it's bringing up anxiety and emotions, but not the same way that it did. So I've been able to manage it, due to therapy and just, journaling, just in general, just being able to manage my anxiety. But even just writing this out, talking about it still stirs up a little bit of emotion. I mean, after it happened, I think I remember like the first time passing that area, that restaurant, it, brought up that feeling in the pit of my stomach. But every time I passed by it later, it felt easier. We had gone to the restaurant a time after that and I was fine. But we went again earlier this year and I could just feel, I felt being anxious. I felt so anxious going in there. But I was able to identify my anxiety, and I was never able to do that in the past. So not my anxiety would just overwhelm me and I would get annoyed and I would snap and I would just shut down, or I'd get just really aggressive. But being able to identify, okay, I'm anxious in the moment. I'm anxious because I'm in a place that is traumatic for me. It brings up traumatic memories. I was able to identify that anxiety and kind of work through it, calm my nervous system, take those breaths, take that time, go to the restroom to be alone for a minute. But it was kind of exciting to see that I was able to kind of slow down and kind of work through that. So again, like, trauma can just come up in the most random times. You could think that you're fine, but it could still come up, and that's just a normal response. um but therapy, working through my anxiety, working through my triggers has been really, really helpful with that. Yeah, so, well, I kind of went on a tangent, so let me kind of read through my notes to see what part I'm on. But yeah, I mean, the trauma, it's just not only in your head, but it's in your body. So just breathing, giving myself grace, just getting back into the moment, using my self-soothing tools, my therapy tools, just really kind of helped me get through that last moment we were at the restaurant, which is interesting. But yeah, it's trauma's crazy. It just lives in your body, comes up when it wants to. You just have to learn what those triggers are, and you have to learn how to kind of work through it, and it'll get easier every time. And again, like we discussed previously, trauma can affect you in different ways. It affects everybody in different ways. It can show up in different ways. The same situation can show up in different ways, and you can feel deeply one day and it can just not affect you another day. But the good news is that we heal. The good news is that, we can be there for people while they're healing. I mean, I have my sisters, my mom, they've always been a really good support system for me. And you just kind of have to find that circle of people that are able to kind of help you heal. And that's kind of what this community is that I want to build, is people that are here to help support each other's journey for healing, um, someone to be that emotional kind of support person, just being able to, vent when you feel those emotions come up. And that's the community I want to build, and that's why I started this podcast. But yeah, this was really emotional writing this. This episode today was emotional to get through. So thank you. Thank you for listening, for sharing this space with me. I'm sure I'll be censored for all the stuff I said about Palestine and my self-identification. So if you want to like, share, comment, that would be helpful. Share this with somebody you think would like to listen, someone you think would benefit from our healing community. And always remember that healing is empowering. That's all I got. Thank you for being here. Bye, Heblahs.